of the game.
Past Charlie here to tell you about a few of our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice, providing us access to roles, tokens, maps, and more. You can try it today for free at fantasygrounds.com. While you're there, why not check out Fantasy Grounds Unity? World Anvil is a remarkable resource, whether you're a writer, GM, or player, organizing your campaign notes or building an entire world. Get forging today for free at worldanvil.com. And before we get into today's game, we'd like to shout out our friends at Andrews McMeel Publishing, who published the wonderful game Zweihander. If you haven't checked that out, you can catch it here on Wednesdays. We'd also like to mention Modifius, who manage and produce a wide range of RPGs. Whether you feel like being Dishonored, exploring a tale from the loop, or boldly going with Star Trek adventures, why not check out modifius.com.
Hello everybody, welcome to a Game of Thrones and The Wall. It is Monday and it is the finale day. I am going to hand over to Pope because I'm seeing bits flood in, subs and more, so I'm going to be updating the overlay and making sure everything is set up and ready to go. Pope, let's introduce this cast of players.
Indeed, we shall, Charlie. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. It's good to see you all, Chaos Chorus. We're going to be getting into the deep, dark thick of it this evening as we bring this incredible story to a finale. So, speaking of finales in Game of Thrones, that usually involves a lot of death and dying. Hi, Alyssa. How are you doing? As the one individual who might be able to save some poor soul and is leading their people to starfall, whatever that may be. How you doing?
I'm doing well. My name is Alyssa. I play Wildling Runa, and I have pumped all of my experience points into healing to try and make sure that we don't die, or at least some of us don't die. We'll see how it goes.
Well, being one of those who may not actually receive the benefits of Wildling care given the long march into the dark where the wildlings kept chanting, and I don't trust no crows. Matt, also known as the Killer GM, and Sir Jarden Burke. How are we doing?
Oh, Pope, it is going to be a time and a half. We are on our finale. Things are going swimmingly. The Blackfires are in town. And as we all know, nothing bad happens when the Blackfires are here. And Jarden has a duty to carry out. A duty to burn whatever is at the Starfall. But he's got other stuff in play too, and so we're going to see some of that laid bare today, whether it's for good or for ill. Only the gods can decide.
Well, the gods decide. But one has been given the task of recording, and that is now Chronicler Laris, played by our fantastic Dev. Dev, how you doing?
Doing great, Pope. Yeah, excited. I'm on the edge of my seat, nervous for the fallout today. My name is Devin. I'm online at Dev Presto. And yeah, Laris, the forever recruit, has finally upgraded to a chronicler and is now marching north of the wall wearing the armor of a ghost, terrible commander from before. So we'll see how well he's received.
Oh, and someone that's going to be a part of that reception as everything converges is our wonderful Kate, actors at work, playing Jarl, who has some history with the former owner of that armor.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting encounter. Hi everybody, I am Kate Madison here on Twitch, but also actors at work over on like the various social media places. I play Wildling Jarl, and yeah, looking forward to see what happens today. I don't know who's gonna live, and I would, well, yeah, if anyone, I don't know. It's Game of Thrones. Like, expect the unexpected. So I'm excited. I don't care what happens. It's just gonna be a great story, and that's what is really fun. So enjoy.
Well, that's what we're all here for. You've already given a lot, Chaos Chorus, as I'm seeing all these blue dice hovering around our heads, for good and for ill. Remember, we can keep giving and keep piling things on. I heard rumors earlier in the Discord about ice spiders. And it's you, Chaos Chorus, so propensity for possibility of ice spiders, and maybe, a bone ape named Tetley might appear. We don't know. So to find all of this out and where things are headed, I hand it back over to our magnificent storyteller and narrator, Charlie.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Chaos Chorus. I am frantically updating the overlay, trying to keep up. Thank you for the retweets, the subs, the gift subs, the crits, the hits, and more, because it's all going into today. I apologize if we do not keep up while we are live. It is a finale, but do know we appreciate you, and we see you in chat. We see you. And on that ominous note, I want to get into tonight's game, because we've been talking for nearly 20 minutes now, and it is time. Night gathers, and their watch begins.
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, take no lands, take no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. I shall only live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the fire that burns against the cold, the light that brings the dawn, the horn that wakes the sleepers, and the shield that guards against the realms of men. I pledge my life and my honor to the Night's Watch, for this night and for all the nights to come.
And it feels as if you are in a long night, as the brothers of the Night's Watch march north. But ahead of them, trailing through the dark, leaving footprints in the yet-to-thaw snow, wildlings make their way to an old place. An old and dark place. They say a long time ago, a star fell from the heavens. And stars, to the clan between the river and sky, are the eyes of gods. Up in the heavens tonight, the celestial body of the moon, the feast of the gods, watches over you too. You have told all that will hear you in the dark that you are not afraid, that you will name those things you are afraid of and be afraid no more. But there are calls now out in the darkness. Other things that walk the night deep in the snow. Other things that claim this land as theirs. And the terrain is changing. It's rockier here. There are hidden falls and trips, dead, rotting roots of trees upended in unseen storms. And mixed in with the white of the snow, a black, shadowy web that trails from an unseen place ahead of you. Yrel, you lead the clan as head survivor, head tracker, eyes in the dark.
There's something ahead. Webs, maybe. Need to be careful. Stay back a bit. Warriors with me. And I walk forward towards thing, like carefully looking for any hidden webs that I cannot see.
I would like you to make an awareness notice test, please.
Sorry.
Okay.
2 seconds.
First roll of the night.
Yeah, I know. the anticipation. I'm just building. Drum roll, everyone. Drum roll.
All good. Pope tells
Come
me we've hit
on.
20 subs, and I think we are on our way to 20 retweets. So
Whoa.
please do hit that button if you haven't already.
Oof. Not great for a first roll of the night there. That's a 7 for my awareness notice.
As you trace your path around the obvious black stretch of this web, you fail to notice what is hidden, what is tucked away, and you trip. And I would like you to make an endurance test, please. As I move my necklaces out of the way, as I prepare to make my rolls in a second.
What? Okay, sorry. I'm looking at my dice going, why have I put a +1B to that but haven't actually added it? What was I thinking? I don't know. Anyways, we'll just do this. Oh, no we won't, because that doesn't work. Wait, we will. I've only been playing for a few weeks. It's alright, she knows what she's doing. Come on.
It's alright, you got this. Nailed it.
14.
Right. As you trip, you see something stir like soot or ash into the wind that howls through this glade. And you manage to catch yourself in time before you face down into whatever this is. But you notice now these black specks in the night, and they sizzle as they hit the light of the torch being currently carried by Jackson to your right. He takes a breath and coughs and covers his mouth with a hand hurriedly. What the? Where's it, Yrel? Where?
I don't know. There's something here, and I don't. This isn't the way. We should go a different way. We aren't strong enough to fight whatever we're not here for this. I try and slowly back up. Let's go this way. Keep an eye out for
Right,
more
I'd
of
like to
this.
make an agility test for me. And you can apply your notice bonus from awareness to this to help you as you move backwards and try and avoid things.
Okay, I think this is right. 16.
16.
Yeah.
You are very careful now and move backwards. You notice the places where it's tucked itself beneath the snow and pull back. More of those small flecks stir up in the night, blown by the wind towards you. But everyone is wary now, unsure of what it is, and there's a smell in the air. A sick smell borne by the wind and these flecks. And every time a fleck hits the torch, it flickers and seems to buzz for a moment before it is gone. Which way are we gotta go?
Does it look like it's all around us at the moment, or just mostly the path we were taking?
It seems to be a stretch on the path you were taking. It had been a relief when your path had somewhat opened up, where the trees had been knocked in winds, and there seemed almost like this natural path that was forming ahead of you. And that's where whatever this is has spread across.
And when you said that the torch flickered, does it look like the dust stuff is trying to put the torch out, or that the torch is burning the stuff?
Make a cunning test. You can also add any bonus dice from.
I'll
say
rolled
memory.
already, but I could.
Okay, you rolled already.
Okay. Yeah, I rolled an 11.
Okay,
With
11.
my basic cunning.
Looking at the behavior of the torch and looking to this stuff, it appears that whatever this is, as it hits the fire, is burning up, and it's burning up incredibly fast and effectively.
Wait. I think maybe we should just burn it.
Well, the whole thing.
Well, it burns quick. Maybe it'll just burn away quickly, and whatever it might flush something out, though. That's the only thing.
Well, let's hope
But it
whatever
doesn't
else
belong
is up here is free to fire, I guess. Jackson turns and looks to Runa and the others who have now gathered just behind the warrior group to find out what is happening. There are so few of your clan left.
I'm gonna dig out from another torch or a few torches and get a few more lit, so that all the front line kind of have at least a torch. And I'm looking around for where I can sort of see it, so that I don't find that we end up caught in any sort of blaze if it's going to go up, that we're not standing in it, or we're not surrounded by it and sort of kind of trap ourselves.
You seem to be, you kind of see a barrier almost to it, a borderline of how far it's stretched, and you'd wandered a little way into it, 3 or 4 feet, when you'd begun investigating it, and as you'd come back, you'd noticed it more clearly, how it had thinned. But lighting these torches, you are lighting the last of your supplies of these torches. This is the last of these that you would have.
Okay. Well, I would probably, knowing that, if I can, I would save one unburnt at least.
All right, we will make a note that you have 1 left.
Yeah, okay. And I will back up to where I saw where I found the edge, or even a bit further back from even that, because it's hard to see. So I will just go back further and get out some weapons just in case. Be ready, and I will sort of edge forward, kind of trying to touch the torch on the ground to find the start of this and see if it goes up, basically.
The torch cracks and hisses as the fire kisses snow, and then it catches on a tendril of that black web. And you see it weave fast like a serpent up along the tendril across this great mass. And the forest before you is all of a sudden seemingly ablaze with a burning white light. And thrown up from the earth, attempting to escape the flames, a mass of this ash-like black substance that begins to fall like flakes of snow. Where it touches the fire, it catches and burns away, but the wind is quickly blustering through, blowing it towards you and into your faces. And I need you all to make an endurance test, dear wildlings. In Game of Thrones, everything is a poison.
10.
10? How did you do, Runa?
18.
Very nice. You were quick to react, to cover your faces, keep your flesh from touching these strange flecks in the night. And Runa, I'm going to say with that 18, because that's a very good roll, that you would recognize these as not flecks of ash, but as spores. Something, whatever this is releasing. And that it is very important that you do not breathe these things in or allow them extensive contact with you. Unfortunately, Grayson, who is currently wrapped and being carried by two of your clan, his face is exposed to the sky. And you can see a number of these flecks have already fallen down and onto his face as he turns his head to try and shake them away. Whilst Jackson continues to cough beside you, Uriel, as these spores emanate out.
Cover your mouth! Don't breathe it in!
I never thought having a big mouth would catch me in trouble.
Burn them! Use your torch! They burn up real easy. Just stop them getting near your face.
I'll take the hem of my cloak and a little snow and try to wash the spores off of Grayson.
All right, make a healing test. You can apply treat ailment for this.
Okay.
The wildlings wave their torches and try to catch that falling black dust before it can strike the clan further. And before you, the blaze is bright white. It's not a yellow flame like that of your torches, but it is more like potassium in water as it glows, this blinding, sparkling, bright white all along the mass of the web.
$13.
You rush to Grayson and hurriedly wash the spores from his face, check his, I was going to say breathing holes, his nose and mouth.
His airway?
His airways, thank you. His airways, and ensure he is clear. You use a small amount of cloth to cover his face for the meantime to keep him safe. And slowly, the wind blows those flames, and the mass is burnt away before you. At the edge, there is still that flickering, sparkling, bright white flame. And between you now is a slurry of dirty snow and the darkness beyond.
Right. Runa, you happy? Let's go. The fire would have put off anything close. We might as well use that opportunity to go now.
Let's keep moving.
push forward, like, but it's kind of still waving my torch around a bit to if there's any spores in the air, and ready for anything that might have been spooked by all that fire, but hoping that the fire actually made them run the other way.
Okay, for the time being, awareness notice checks made to spot things in the dark are going to be a -1 test dice. And thank you so much, Danin, for those extra 5 crits. I will be adding them to my overlay shortly. So, you push forward, you continue to chase away the spores as they are blown into the air by the wind. And the night is dark, save for that howling wind. Save for the flame of your torches. The area is still. But in the beyond, there's a howl that isn't just the gusting wind. There's a howl like that creature that had dropped from the darkness to ambush you and the crows. More than one. You'd been willing to fight. You'd been willing to chase them down. Alright, which way do we go now?
Do I kind of know where I'm heading? I've been to Starfall before, because I served there when I was younger. So I know, we assume I know the way, right?
Yeah, you have a rough idea of the direction that you should be heading in, and you've been using your survival to navigate thus far between the stars and other natural signs that you can see.
And is the direction we need to go towards where that howling comes from?
It certainly seems to be in that rough direction.
I'd almost assume so too, because I know where we're heading, and we're heading towards stuff that probably is releasing these things.
The bad times.
It makes sense that this is hear bad noises. That's probably the way we need to go. Oh gosh, wondering why I thought this was a good idea. And nothing's a good idea in this clan.
That's your clan words. Nothing's a good idea.
I would change the name of the clan between a rock and a hard place, not a river and the sky. We have to keep going. Just hear those howls? It's that way. Keep your eyes peeled.
Are we sure this is such a good idea?
It's not a good idea at all, but what else are we gonna do? Just cling to the edge of whatever until we're all whittled away and dead. We need to turn this clan around, and we're either all dead or... What?
We had a chance. We had a chance with the crows, at least. We nearly always heard them coming. And you can see Ryva, she's clutching her newborn, and she is visibly frightened.
I look to Runa. I want to. What does her face look like? Does she seem that this is a bad idea too?
It's probably a bad idea, but it's the best idea we've got. So I'm just gonna put a hand on Ryva's shoulder and kind of reassure her. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
I'd like you to roll status empathy. As you use your position as clan leader and also just your knowledge of Ryva and her experiences to comfort and convince. Thank you so much, Other Dark, for that donation.
$11.
You know, I've been thinking about it these last 10 miles, and it almost feels like we're just walking into something to die, you know? We'd rather whatever that is take us. I don't want to die. I don't want my baby to die. I understand that we named what we were afraid of, but there's only so many words for the things we're afraid of, and then we keep making up words, and it's only words, and it doesn't feed us. And I think this was a sign. This is a barrier. This is you should not go further north. You should not go towards Starfall. There's a reason it's called Death Hallow. There's a reason we swore to guard it and to keep people from it. And I'm going to enter us into an intrigue, as Runa failed to convince with the simple roll. So I need you both to roll your status. I will allow breeding or reputation on this. It's normally just breeding, but reputation also counts when you're a wildling clan. And I do apologize if I'm slightly laggy. I have a million windows open right now.
Too many tabs. I know that.
Too many tabs.
I rolled a 10. Poor Runa rolled a 4.
All right.
I'm sure if I want to convince them or not. I think she's right. Shouldn't take a baby in there.
All right. So Riva rolled a 4. And Jackson is also going to join this intrigue, and he rolled a 7. So we had a 10 from Urel, then it will be Jackson, then it will be Runa, and then it will be Riva. And that's the order we were going to run through this. You are welcome to assist each other. That is an action on our cheat sheet. Be true to your character, and be true to whatever you are persuaded or convinced of. Don't forget that you need to set your disposition towards each of these people. Jackson is one of the elder male warriors in your clan. His left arm is unfortunately injured and has been for a fairly long time. But he has mostly been supportive, if a little grumpy, on this trip. Riva, of course, is our young mother who gave birth in the first episode that we had, who is very much missing her partner and is now unsure of your path. The others have kind of taken a step back to allow you all to discuss. You are their de facto leaders. They each have opinions on who is in charge, but for now they've settled to let you four talk it out and to decide as they watch the flames burn away the last of that web. So Urel, you're going first.
I know this is a dangerous place to go. I know it seems stupid, it possibly is, but the gods sent that down on us for a reason. We did something wrong and they punished us for it. And then we just hid from it. We watched the stars, but we've hid from it. What did they send? They either sent something to take us out completely, because that was their will, or they intend us to prove ourselves and fight it and grow stronger for it. We went south, we went towards the crows. The crows are nothing but massacre us. I don't expect this to be much better, but I'd rather fight what's out here than the damn crows. At least this is some sort of natural, and they do it for their own gain, and it doesn't mean anything. But I understand you got a kid, so I'd feel different. I look at Runa.
All right, Kate. This feels to me like a persuasion convince roll, unless you have lied about anything you've said or you've obscured the truth in any way, at which point it will be a deception-based roll. If you were trying to do something else, Shield of Reputation, I could see also as an action that you are taking, but this mostly seems like a persuasion convince, which is an influence.
Yeah. Okay. So
Normally, I would give out bonus dice for roleplay, but since we have a lot of additional crits on deck right now, I'm not going to be doing that for this intrigue. So you can use your crits as you feel
that is
fitting.
fine. What have I got? I've got 3 different
You have
dice I could use as well. Oh, I'm gonna get the clown killed, and I don't want to do that. Right. So what? Sorry, it's intrigue. Okay, this is the first time I've done intrigue this whole time.
Convince. I believe it's what you are doing, so that you can make an influence, which is essentially a social intrigue attack. In this case, where you're trying to erode someone's composure to do what you want them to do.
I rolled a 14.
And as you speak these words, would you say you're targeting Riva or you're talking to Jackson? I know you tend to Runa at the end, but
I'm kind of talking to everyone, if I'm allowed to do that, but maybe if I'm specifically...
I would allow you to spend a destiny point to be able to convince multiple people.
Okay.
But it'll only count for this one roll.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think I probably was focusing on Runa because she spoke. To Riva, sorry, not Runa, Riva, because she, yeah, I think I'm mostly looking at her, because if I can convince her, I can potentially convince everyone else.
All right, perfect. That is 1 degree of success. So it is your will rank in damage.
Okay.
And I will say, as the blessings have come in, Runa, increase your status by 1 rank. Yrel, increase your will by 1 rank. And you can apply that for now. Laris, increase your endurance by 1 rank. Commander Dondarian, increase your status by 1 rank. Or warfare, your choice. I will take either. And increase your deception by 1 rank. And this can cross that level 5 rank limit that I put on. So if you were already at 5, you can go up to 6.
So my will was 4, so it's now 5. So that's 5 damage.
Yep, that's correct. Okay, so that's 5 composure damage. Now the way this works is some of that will be soaked by her disposition rating, which is essentially her armor in this. But the more she likes you, the less she has to protect against your persuasion. And just so I don't mind being open book, because we haven't done very many of these, she just took 4 of your damage, as she is affectionate towards you. You are essentially her sister. You were there at the birth of her child. You've been through a lot together. She listens to your words and she half nods, but she's still uncertain. Jackson looks between the 3 women gathered here discussing. You know, I agree with Yrel. The gods did punish us, and they've been punishing us. I can't help but feel it's about time we punished something else. About time that we got justice for something that we've been through. And I'm not really afraid of what's ahead of us, because what's behind us has been just as bad. But I am afraid of us ceasing to exist. If that is the God's will, then I will damn well defy it. We've lost everything, and I'm not ready to throw away everything because of that. I would follow you into the dark, but this is our last chance to decide if there is another way. And he's going to take the consider action. So the consider action, basically they kind of remove themselves to take a moment to really think about it, and it's going to give him a +2 bonus dice to his next roll. So whatever he says next is likely to be fairly effective as he considers. Runa, it's your turn.
Creatures build walls. Just like we built a wall Looks like the crows built a wall. It's never stopped us before. It shouldn't stop us now. We can't send you back alone. We all go on together, or we all go back together. I'm tired of hiding.
Okay. Alyssa, what would you like to do? What is Runa doing? She makes her case.
I think probably persuasion. She wants the group to stay together, whatever action we decide to take.
Okay, and are you attempting to persuade Ryver, Jackson, or Urel of this? If you want to persuade all three, it will be a destiny point spend, which means you will not be able to use that destiny point until it refreshes.
I think Ryva, because she seems the most afraid. And I guess I'm kind of trying to rally her a little bit.
Okay. So make me that persuasion convince roll.
To 12.
Okay, that is a 1 degree of success. So your will has the damage.
And that'll be a 3.
Okay. You see her take a breath and shake her head, and she's growing frustrated with this conversation as she takes a point of frustration to absorb that argument. And it's her turn. I don't want to make a decision for everybody, but I want to make a decision for me and for my baby. And that decision is that I don't want to die, and I don't want her to die. We could have reached out to the rock chewers, you know. We could have found them. We could have reached out to anybody. There's 1,000 clans up here. We always go it alone. We're always so determined that it's us against everyone, against everything. Maybe that's why the gods are punishing us, because we're so damn egotistical that we insist on doing everything alone, even going into the dark. Urel, you worked with the crows. Just a few days ago, you were with them. Couldn't we have made a deal? I could have been a crow's wife. I could have done that.
Crows don't marry. They don't take women. You know that?
Well, they take women, you know that.
You wouldn't be a wife. You'd be a freaking whore.
Be alive.
They abandoned their own. I went with them, yeah, to help. And they travelled and decided, no, we'll leave them to die. And then abandoned me 3 days away. I had to travel injured back to you. They don't care about their own. Not like us. They would abandon you. You mean nothing to them. The only thing that matters to them is their damn wall. They'd rather look at a block of ice and care for a block of ice than they would for a wildling. But maybe the other clans, yes. Maybe we do need to join forces. We're nothing now. We're not really a clan at all. I don't want you to go in there and die. Just because I maybe I kind of want to see. I want to see what we walked away from. But that doesn't mean everybody has to go and... No, you can't fight, not with a babe. Bruna, do we know of other clans nearby? Do you think we should send some who aren't fighters to find the other clan? Maybe join forces or at least wait for us there.
I'm gonna roll Ryber's persuasion, so you can take that into consideration before you answer or push any further.
Sure. Yeah.
She rolled a 8. I can't count. 8. So take a look at your intrigue defense.
Intrigue defense says 9.
Okay, so it will be unsuccessful against your roll. But obviously you can roleplay as you like. That's still your call.
It'll be unsuccessful against... What will be... So she's unsuccessful against me?
Yeah, she's unsuccessful against you.
Right.
You can tell she's panicking. She's willing to suggest she'd marry a crow. It's disgusting and unthinkable. Yeah.
And she like, yeah. It's like, no.
Crazy woman talk.
Anything is better than a crow. Marry a freaking bone ape over a freaking crow.
Would I know if there are any other clans that are close enough to even send part of the group, knowing that one has just recently given birth and one has been badly injured?
You've thought about it before now. Of course it would have crossed your mind, but as you search your memory right now, I'd like you to make a cunning memory test so you can think of anything, of anyone who could be near here that maybe hadn't been an option before, but now you're truly desperate. You're thinking a little harder about it.
9.
9. The rock chewers do live to the north of your clan. And you have been heading roughly northernly. You've been heading inland and north, so to the northeast direction, northeast. So they could be around here somewhere. Probably not at Starfall. No wildling goes to Starfall. But you would also probably not be far from their territory. It'd just be a slight adjustment of direction.
We could turn aside, try to find the rock eaters. But I won't send them alone.
Can't trust a rock eater any more than you can trust a crow. Jackson kind of spits down at the ground at this idea. Be like trusting an ironborn. Who, in Jackson's opinion, is the worst of the worst?
What
do
do you suggest then, Jackson? I mean, Grayson can't do anything. He needs people to carry him. And Riva can't either. I don't want to just walk in and get people killed. But I also don't want to hide away again from what we are. What would you do?
It is your turn, Urel, to take an action
is it?
before Jackson replies. It is.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so we can do all these actions. Assist.
Don't forget you have 3 additional test dice currently on your screen.
Oh. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to, like, I mean, it's because I'm better with a fight. I'm like, okay, I get what I'm doing if I'm fighting. When we're doing this discussion, I'm like, oh God, whatever I say, it's going to get innocent
nearly
people.
exactly the same mechanics as
I know,
a combat.
mechanics-wise.
Just explaining for the audience, it's nearly exactly the same, but they've been slightly reflavored and slightly shaped to obviously suit things.
It's really interesting. It's just when I don't have a strong argument. So I think Urel as Elf is like, is this a sort of death wish that she has? Is this a challenge she's putting on herself and she's dragging everyone else with her? So she's a little bit unsure. I think I will. I think assist or consider is what I'm thinking. Maybe if I assist Runa, because we've given her the leadership position, and I think she should be the one making decisions, not me. I could wander off my own to Starfall if I wanted to and have a death wish. I'm not trying to convince everyone of this thing. I just think we need to make a change, but you know. So I will assist Runa, giving her a bonus dice to her roll when she does it. So I'll look. I'm not one to make this decision. We said Runa is our leader. Runa makes this decision. I don't want to drag everyone into danger just because I seem to be wanting a challenge. I've been kept here for a reason. Everyone else is dead. And I don't know what that is, and maybe it's to finally figure out what the heck happened at Death Hollow. But that doesn't mean that you with your babe need to go, and Grayson, who's half dead anyway, needs to go, and I'll leave it up to the group. I'll leave it up to Runa.
We did pass a cave a while back. I could take Grayson and River there and we could wait. Wait until until you see it. Maybe when you see it and you come running back, we'll decide which direction we're running in. Or maybe when you get there, and maybe when the gods have decided to put nothing there for you to find, then we'll know. Normally, I'd say you stay with your clan. But maybe it is time that we split. If only until we have an answer. Although if you scream loud enough, I'll come running. And he's going to roll persuasion to essentially convince Runa to grant him the permission to stay with Grayson, Riva, and the baby, to take them back to that cave, and he'll wait there. So I'm going to roll. He's got his 2 bonus dice from his consider. That was not a good roll. All right. 10 against Runa's intrigue defense. Sorry.
Runa's intrigue defense is only an 8.
Okay, so that is 1 degree of success. You will take 3 will influence against you. Obviously, soak using your disposition rating as necessary. This is Jackson, who is trying to convince you. And it's your go. And Urel has kind of lended you the support for you to make the decision.
Okay. So, taking into consideration everything that everyone has said, I think Runa is starting to think that Urel is the one that needs to be convinced of something. And it really doesn't make sense to bring a baby and a man who nearly died into potentially another battle. So what Jackson says makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna just for a moment, I'm gonna hold up a hand and I'm gonna step aside with Yarel. Because I'm a little concerned about her. And I will say, is that really why you want to go to the Hollow? Because you have nothing else to live for? Are you going there to die?
Well, I'd hope not. But nothing good's come from it.
I haven't
I
seen
don't
much.
go there just to die. I could jump off a freaking cliff if I wanted that. I don't long for death, or I would have taken my own life a year ago. I think I want to know why life's been just so hard for us. And maybe that's just how life is, but
We all wonder that sometimes.
you do what you need to do. I'll come. I pledge myself to the clan, not to my own whatever.
Have we ever
I'll
seen
protect the
anything
clan.
good come from going there? Seen a lot of bad things happen to those who've come back, when they come back. If they come back.
What if it's like a box that we just need to close the lid of, and we've left it open this whole time for everything to flood out? We never thought about that. We just stepped back from it, tried to put up a wall, but a wall's not a lid. I don't know.
We can't bring Riva and the baby, Grayson.
I know. To the cave or to the other clan?
Yarel, as you pose this question, I need you to make a will check, please. Okay. The wind tugs at your furs, and there's a whistling in your brain. And for a moment, your vision flashes. A bright white sky with crows flying straight as an arrow, straight towards something. And it's like a migraine pushing into your brain, a sudden pain at your temples. You're in the middle of a very important conversation, deciding your future, and your will is strong. Kate, you have a choice to embrace what you're being shown or to stay present.
I'm totally embracing it, because there's a decision being made and Urel is trying to be told something by something. The gods or the spirits or something is trying to give her a message, and she absolutely needs that right now. So if it's guidance of some kind, she's letting it in case it's guidance of some kind, who knows.
Runa, you see Yarel fall to her knees, her eyes rolling back into her head. And the fire is dying down on the sides of the forest. People move to help Yarel, but she is lost to all of you, unresponsive. She's still breathing. She's still mostly upright, save for falling to her knees. And she sways, almost like a boat on a gentle ocean, side to side, slightly up and down. And Urel, you feel as if you are flying, as if you are one of these crows chasing north in a straight line, an arrow of crows. And up ahead, you see the twisted remains of a burnt forest, lightning striking down over and over, green lightning that flashes. You see again that ship on the ocean, its mast cracking under your will. You see something stirring in the depths of a dark place. And in the back of your mind, you watch a streak of light across the sky before you, something brighter than that winter sky. And it's crashing down before that line of crows, and it bursts into a great column of flame. And rising up from that flame, twisted, screaming faces. First bone apes, it seems. But then you see them. Your family. As they screech out from that pillar. A crow caws close in your ear. And you return to your place with your clan, kneeling in the snow. The forest is dark, save for the golden, warm light of your torches. Cloud nuzzles into your side, concerned.
You all right?
I think so. I saw something. I don't know if I know what it means. I think the crows are coming. I think they might be coming here. And I think we need to stop them. Green lightning. I don't understand it. I've never seen green lightning before. But I kind of saw the old clan, well, my family, fighting back the crows. I need to fight with them. There's many directions to go and I don't know which one, and they're all bad. Sorry. What do you want to do? I stand up. Get back on my
I
feet.
won't let you go alone. We'll let Jackson take Gryva and Grayson and the baby back to the cave, and we'll do what needs to be done.
You sure you want to come too? This clan needs a leader.
I stayed and waited for you to come back last time, and we saw what happened then. Crows don't have a healer.
Yeah, you'd have a use with them, that's for sure. They won't want to kill you. That would be their own death. Why are they coming here?
Because there aren't enough of us left in between. whatever's out there, what's coming for us, them. So they've come out to meet it, just like we have. Stars are coming together.
Do we wait for them or press on? I don't trust that they would help much. They fought against one creature but ran away from others. I think they only fought to defend themselves, not to defend others.
I have a feeling they might need us. Maybe more than we need them.
Well, I suppose if the giants can make alliances with crows, maybe we can too.
We still have
Things were better then. So. Well,
even if it doesn't show.
I stand up a bit straighter. It shows a little.
It shows where it counts. Besides, I always looked up to you.
It's because I'm taller.
True enough.
You'll be fine. The clan respects you. And you have more wisdom than I do.
It's
right.
Just different wisdom.
An alliance with crows, eh? That is different.
They say that starfall brings you madness, and I'm hearing madness. Ingrid is now like interceding. She's been waiting, and she's like, "What is going on?"
I've seen a vision. I think the crows are coming this way. We can fight them, but we won't win. Or we can try and help them. I tried before. I don't know. I know what they want.
This is wildling country. They're gonna need all the help they can get. They're only scary when they're 1,000 foot up some wall. I don't fear the crows, Ingrid repeats. But I wouldn't mind an army if we're to march on Starfall.
Couldn't tell how far away they were. It wasn't a real thing I was seeing. It were actual crows. And I saw the ship and I saw a burning forest. I don't know if that means... And I look back, we haven't gone very far from where we burnt the spider's web, so I kind of look back and wonder if I can almost see them, if they're actually here, if they were right by that bit. But I don't really understand the green lightning and if that's a different thing that's up ahead. So, well, shall we just sit and get our strength? Or find somewhere safe to hide, or what?
And the eyes turn to Runa for the final decision.
Let's make sure Rive and the baby are safe. Then we decide where to go from here.
Back to the cave, then. Jackson, you want to lead on?
All right, then.
And I pull out one of my spears. I think I'm almost walking with it, but I kind of take it in a bit more of an awareness kind of, right now we're not talking anymore and something's coming, so.
Keep your eyes to the dark, Jackson issues the warning. And you turn, and it isn't too far back to that cave, although it's more a shallow incess in thing in the side of a giant rock. I can use words. Who can use words, however, is the Commander Dondarian, who issued a missive to many important readers.
"10 copies. I'm sending you men to deliver this by hand. Make your way to Shadow Tower, and then from there, carry it all the way to the Black Keep. I wish you well, brothers." The words contained therein. "To the gods and men's eyes, heed these words. I, Rael Dondarian, brother of the Night's Watch, commander of Giant's Chair, have borne witness to a horrific crime. A crime against the Seven Kingdoms, the oaths we hold dear, and the crown. A young lad, maybe 13 years, has come into my care as commander in the Night's Watch. Not as a foundling, not a tribute, not a tithe, but as a criminal. While this is upsetting, it is not unusual. What is upsetting and unusual is the reasons for why this lad committed his offenses, and how no one cared to find out why. He is brave to a fault, honorable, skilled with a sword, a bright mind. One who wanted so much to impress his father, to be like him. A member of the King's Guard, Sir Aidan Hayford. Abandoned by a man who violated his oath to crown and country, a boy left to flounder, calculated precisely the crimes to commit to be sent to the wall, to take an oath and defend the people. He's not like his father. Not anything like him. He's much more takes after his namesake, Darren. How did no one, not a soul, care for this child's well-being? How did we all fail him to such an enormous degree? How many more are out there like him? How many? My brothers, including Darren, go to fight a threat north of the wall. None, including myself, including young Darren, may survive this conflict to keep the Seven Kingdoms' faith. We may succeed, we may very well fail, but death is certain for many. We go and fight regardless of who we were before we arrived here. Lord, knight, farmer, criminal, traitor, child, we hold our oath. We are the watchers on the wall. We are the shield for the realms of men. Should any of you reading this have but an inkling of mother-given empathy, a modicum of father-given judgment, you will see to your oaths. You will see how in this instance you failed them. You will spend the rest of your days making sure that Darren's legacy is not one to be forgotten. Otherwise, may the stranger take the lot of you. By the old gods and the new, I, Rael Dondarian, hold my oath as watcher, shield, and brother.
And you sent the brothers to march north to that place where the star fell. to burn out the threat with Dondarian's flame. Sajad Burke, chronicler Laris, you were chosen amongst those sent to lead, to bear all that would birth that flame. And it has been a cold and long march. You crossed path with no beast nor man, but you were aware the whole time that they could be there, that maybe they were there. Watchers for those that would watch as you push north towards that place. Sajardin, you have maps, you have your own research, you have all that the stewards have provided you from their research. And chronicler Laris, you were appointed to assist, to make note, to help. You have made camp for the night, but it is a brief stop because the nights are short now. That summer is here, north of the wall. But that doesn't stop it being dark in the places that matter. Beck, what are your orders and what is your mood tonight?
The mood is agitation. So close. A journey that's been, at this point, years in the making, even if it wasn't so direct. It's now underway and so close. An end to this frozen hell that he had been banished to, that he had been imprisoned in. And so he's very eager to go, but knowing that he won't do any good, he won't be able to succeed if he's tired. And the men won't be able to assist him if they're tired. It's a camp. It's a short camp, using the rations that they have. Cold, bitter, lifeless rations. But they'll do long enough. And he's made sure that the men are set, that a watch is maintained, even especially this far north of the wall, the siege that they had just endured not a day previous. And the men that they had lost before, this could turn into a massacre if they aren't vigilant right up until their goal.
I'd like you to make a command roll, please. That's warfare command.
Warfare command. We have that somewhere.
As you essentially are marching... Oh, dice down. That's one for the night. As you are essentially leading this army, and we will see if they obey their orders. I don't know where it's gone. Rest in peace, dice.
A 16.
That will beat their discipline. And they do. They take their command from you. They set to watch, to patrol, to account, to make sure they're fed and rested. But vigilance, that is their top priority. Because there is much danger here. Chronicler Laris, what are you doing in the dark as night sets in?
Laris is one on the watch. He's pacing out a perimeter from the camp as others are setting up. Walking in another man's armor, wielding another man's axe, feeling entirely unlike himself, which is not a new feeling for him here on the wall. And he is remembering his commander's request that he be one that remembers, one that tells the truth. And as he paces through the snow, he feels that fear in the pit of his stomach and looks up into the trees, the black and gray leaves that he can see in the night, and instead of focusing on what should be remembered, all he can think about are the things that he'd like to forget: the horrid sounds of apes, the bone white flash in the night that descended from the trees.
Don't worry, Laris. I won't let him get you. Your shadow for this entire journey, the young boy, relentlessly teasing despite your promotion, relentlessly reminding you that he is much better with a sword and much quicker on his feet, but always telling you that he is there to protect you. Got orders from the commander himself.
Is that so?
It is. I'd say you should ask him, but we're not there, so you're going to have to take my word for it. But I am your brother, and I swore the oath, same as you.
Sure, brothers indeed. What were these orders from the commander himself then?
I'm to bring you back alive. And well, I think, he added.
Alive and well. It's hard to stay well in the mind on a night like this. Keep an eye on the trees. It's where those creatures came from first.
I remember. You told me. Tell me again about that wildling. What she did. And he's got his sword in his hand and he's got it poked upright. He very clearly remembers exactly the story that you told about this wildling.
Yeah. She was still as a stone. And the way she stood, you could tell this was her. These were her woods, because it was almost as if you couldn't tell where her legs ended and the earth below her began. She came out of the ground like a mountain, and seems like the creature never stood a chance as it came down upon her.
Was it like this? And he changes his stance to a slightly wider one, squatting slightly with his sword up. I reckon I could stand like this for a little while. Maybe not still as stone, mind you.
And yeah, Lara sees Lara sees what was in the letter from the commander and what he had seen in the training in the courtyard of the castle. He sees a body that, though young, is much more equipped for battle and conflict than his own. Yeah, looks like you've got it too. There was another wildling story that I didn't tell you, and he sheepishly probably looks around, maybe even gets down a bit. One that I didn't have the courage to tell anybody, but if you're here on commander's orders to protect me, then I should tell you about the last person that was protecting me in these woods.
On my honor, I can keep a secret. I'd tell you about my secrets, but then I wouldn't be keeping them.
Well, if we make it out of this alive, and we bring each other back alive and well, like you say, then we'll owe each other a secret for that. The wildlings, they have strange weapons, unlike the ones that the brothers give us. And they told me that they'd be better for slaying one of those creatures. And he pulls out this the short steel wood sword that has sort of a strange hooked blade to it. He pulls that out. And he holds it out in front of the boy. This was a sword they gave me. I've named it Wild Trust, and I think maybe you should have it.
Never seen a blade like that. I've seen a lot, but I've never seen a blade like that. How does it work? Looks like it's made of wood. And he kind of knocks on it.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the problem, and that's what you're going to have to figure out for yourself. See, they gave me this sword, and they told me that it would protect me from the creatures of the night out here. But I didn't see it in use myself. So the question that was mine, and now the question that's yours, is whether you trust them to protect us, or whether you think this is no better than a wooden training sword.
His eyes drift down to his feet, planted into the earth as he attempts to mimic the wildling. His eyes go up to the sky, and with a sudden flourish, he swings his own sword around and puts it in its scabbard, and he hands out his open palms to accept the sword on offer.
Good choice. And he'll hand off Wild Trust.
Well, I never. The damn thing is balanced, and he's kind of feeling it. He's moving it around, performing a number of kind of practice maneuvers, and then he flicks it back so that hooked blade points up towards the trees. I reckon it would work. I wouldn't want to fall on it.
I'd say that I hope we don't have to find out, but we both know that's not true. So stay sharp out here. And continues sort of the perimeter.
And a moment later, there is a call. Something has been spotted in the woods. They're not using their horns, but instead the scouts are running back on the patrol, hurrying for the small tent set up for Sir Jardin to keep the maps and details dry.
Jardin will stand and await the reports.
Sir Burke, I have found tracks in the woods. You need to come quickly.
Human?
Yes, many of them.
Wildlings. Good. I think we found the Skywatchers. And he'll heft his sword and shield and follow to where they've indicated.
And they bring you through, and sure enough, they're in the snow. It's light because the snow is thawing here. But you can see tracks. Make a survival track to be able to learn more or follow these tracks.
Survival track?
You can also make awareness notice to give you more information about the tracks as well. But it won't help you in following them.
Might do that in a moment. And hey, I'm a ranger, so I'm gonna have some bonuses going on here too.
And don't forget, you have 5 bonus dice on screen. In fact, you can't even see the 5th one. It's hiding behind your little portrait, but it is there.
You know what? Let's use that then. Let's get that out of the way so we don't forget about it later.
Let's use that one.
So we're gonna roll a party. Drop 1. Boop. So that is, with my ranger bonus, a 17.
Very nice. So you look to the tracks and you can see that they are weaving their way around the terrain. It's not the easiest place to traverse right here. There's an incline and it's craggy. But you can easily follow the route that these people have taken. You're pretty certain from the length of stride, from the depth, and from the breadth of the track itself that it is human. It is not large enough to be that of the bone apes that you saw. And you know from your previous hunting expedition of them that generally their tracks just suddenly disappear into trees. And that doesn't seem to be the case here.
Good work. After we rest, we'll follow these.
What if they are planning to make an ambush? Surberg.
Then we're better face them well rested, rather than harried and haggard.
Yes, sir.
And if they are preparing an ambush, they're not going to wait all night for us. They're going to break and move, because that's their work.
As you wish, Commander. Surberg. This is one of the Dornish recruits who really hasn't gotten the hang of being a brother entirely, but is doing his best.
The commander sits back at Giant's chair. Good man. I'm glad that you think I'm in such company.
I am sure there is a promotion in your future. He smiles.
I certainly hope so. It's not about the prestige. We win no glory. It's about doing what's right.
But the glory would be nice.
A little glory, once in a while. Doesn't hurt.
A little glory between brothers.
Just a little. With a wry smirk, he'll head back towards the camp to basically give the news that we've got our route, we're on the right path, and hopefully we should be to the starfall soon.
And in this moment, I'd like to do a brief flashback. You had been in the Maester's room when he told you you had to make a decision. He wanted the commander to go with you north. If you left the commander here, didn't seem likely there'd be a commander on your return. You didn't have long to make your final preparations. You discovered the note tucked into your pocket that told you friends were near. What, if any, final preparations did Burke make?
Burke's final preparations were to make sure he had extra supplies to make it back down to the coast after securing the starfall as necessary. And he had a final conversation with Commander Dundarian.
I would like to pan us to that conversation. Matt, set the scene for me. Where do you find the commander, and how does it begin?
I feel like the commander is in his office, as he is wont to be. And he was going to make basically one last formal report before taking the ranging out.
Yes, brother.
Commander, everything is ready. We have everything in hand to finally go burn out those creatures.
Good. Find the wildlings, find the problem, set it ablaze.
As you will, Commander. And one last thing before I go. The Maester. He is far more about himself than I think we might realize.
He is a poor commander who puts on airs. Well, I was already seeing to his replacement, but I guess I might need to do it sooner.
Something to that extent, Commander. I would advise caution. He seems to think that you're a source of discomfort for the castle. I don't think that way myself.
Speak more plain, Berg. I'm not a clever man. My
apologies, Commander. the Maester means you harm.
Fair enough. This is my first seditious brother. Won't be the last.
Indeed. I
Thank
don't
you
know
for-
all of the... Of course, Commander. I don't know everything he has on hand. He's the only one who seems to know about this place more than I do in my short time here.
All castles have their secrets. He has had the luxury of time and information, and will likely use it. He may be a rash fellow. I'm not entirely certain. Just when you first meet someone new in command, and you put a false face forward, that says a lot. That says that you're a man not to be trusted. It says that you are selfish. The Watch does not survive selfish men.
No, it does
I
not,
wish you the
Commander.
best of luck. I wish you the best of luck, Burke, on your rage. And should you make it back, we will tear this place down and head to Shadow Tower.
I am sad for that, Commander. I have, if I must be honest, grown a bit of fondness for the place. But
It is a place the Watch is ill-equipped to care for.
sentiment ill survives duty, as I've learned in my time.
The wall will hold. The mine of this place may yet be opened up if if those who deign to sit on even spikier chairs have any sense. But enough of that. I leave you to your duty.
Thank you, Commander. Appreciate that.
Be well, Burke.
And you as well, Dondarrion. And he'll nod and make his way out.
Cut to the present. Fade in on Dondarrion. Where do we see the commander and what is his mood?
He is still fuming. The conversation with Daron has left him in possibly the illest mood that the men have seen him in for some time. Like, he is incredibly angry, but at the same time, there is almost this cruel smile on his face as he has with him, as he's just sent off 4 stewards to hand deliver his letters to Shadow Tower and to Castle Black, as he has now deemed it ill-suited to trust the Maester with anything, and has 2 other stewards with him as he is marching up the tower to go and speak with the Maester.
And you cross paths with the Maester coming down the stairs of the tower. And it's one of those classic fantasy towers where the stairs spiral up and up until they hit the central chamber at the very top, which is almost suspended as a room. This is the western tower. I think that's the one we've got. No, the eastern tower. The west one's gone. Right? Is that the right way around? Yes.
So it's the East Rose.
Nailed it! I got it. Yes.
Hello, brother. Making some rounds.
Eyes and ears keeping busy. Just bringing you a spot of tea, in fact.
Not very thirsty as of late.
You're in a terrible mood. Something to soothe the nerves. Don't worry. Our brothers are strong and we'll be back. And he waves this little pouch of herbs at you.
I might look to that later. But first, we have some matters of import to discuss. Right this way. Let's go to the hall.
Excellent. After you, Commander.
Heads down and leaves the stewards between him and the maester.
Mm-hmm.
Walks quietly into the hall, as quiet as possible, given the hauberk that he's wearing. Plodding steps, and there are probably a number of brothers gathered in the hall. So,
The maester has taken a ridiculously long time to get down these stairs. You've seen him wince. You've seen him clutch the rail along the side, lift his cloak so he doesn't tread on it, make his doddering way. So,
I have a feeling that myself and our brothers here don't really know the real you. And that is a disservice to yourself and us, especially as someone so wise. And as you have been entrusted with that wisdom and the dissemination thereof, and have for your reasons, probably many and varied, there are, to keep that wisdom for yourself and the truth of a number of matters, I hereby see to it that you are retired from said position and reassigned.
Commander, there is no retirement for a brother. Need I remind you the wisdom of the words that we swear when we make our oath?
Oh, you still have to uphold your oath, brother. But you are no longer head steward. In fact, you are no longer a brother of Giant's Chair. You're being reassigned to help the Chief Maester of Castle Black. Someone who is so used to keeping secrets. Should be...
Clearly, Commander, you are offended by something.
Well,
and as you say, you do not know me very well, so perhaps I should enlighten you of a few things.
By all means, I am a reasonable man.
I have been a brother at Giant's Chair for the last 40 years, Commander. I have pledged my oath every night, and I have pledged my oath to this castle, to this last craggy outlook. I guard this valley, the men of this castle, with my wisdom. I treat their ills. I solve the numbness in the tips of their fingers and their toes with my wisdom. I healed their wounds after the battles with wildlings. I comforted their minds after the howls of the stranger echoed in these halls. I remember when there were 4 towers at this castle. And I have seen you bring down the pricks So now there are two. I have sworn an oath for this night and every night. You, Dondarian, are the stranger here in this hall. You are the pretender who does not even march with his men when he sends them north into the unknown. You are the one that acts unwisely, sending me into Castle Black. You seek to silence those who would rightfully say that you are destroying Giant's Chair, the last great castle of this wall that keeps the south and the kingdom of Westeros from the horrors north of it. And he's slowly straightening as he's getting more and more angry and more in his hubris.
I see you've decided to show yourself. It's nice that we finally meet. Now, brother, one of the important things about our oath is we don't add clauses, especially to locations. We don't hold attachments. We do what is right. We do what is just. We are sword, shield, horn, torch, watcher.
How can we be a shield? How can we watch if we abandon this castle? The moment it is clear it is me. No, I am a brother.
You are a maester and a brother, and should serve as both. And so far, what I am hearing is that you are neither. For wisdom says that the Watch has abandoned the places it cannot hold. It has done so for century. This place
You are a
cannot.
politician, Dondarian.
You're thinking of my eldest brother.
He thinks of you.
I hold no house. I hold no title. First and foremost, I am a brother. I was that before I was even born. Tithed. But of course, you don't care for the research that doesn't focus on such a small space. And so we are going to expand your horizons to the whole length of the wall. And you will go to Castle Black. That is the order. Now you can try and disobey. And by all means, brothers, there has been a galley set up in the hall with a noose. You can hold to your oath and orders, or we can see you on. I give you the choice.
I hold to my oath and orders, Dondarian. I challenge you to combat. We shall let the gods decide whose order here is treacherous, whose interest is that of the wall and the brothers, and whose is selfish and political.
I see. So your mind already has been poisoned. Well, we were talking about this earlier. You seek to do physical harm and show yourself in one last flurry of glory. No doubt probably using some poison with whatever weapon you wield, considering who you are, who you really are. And well, I am not one who bends to sedition. If you truly want your combat, you must convince your brothers here that you are worthy of it. So, feel free to play to the crowd. If our brothers see fit for us to cross swords, we shall. But I have a strong feeling your choices are to obey or to leave permanently.
Brothers, this wall was built to defend a kingdom from a nightmare north of it. A barrier manned by us, those who will not leave until they die. This castle added its final mark here, watching over this land for centuries. There has been mismanagement by commanders. There has been treachery and abandonment by weak brothers, but we are strong. And when this land demands blood, it is ours it takes, because we are the watchers on the wall. We are the sword and the shield. I am an old man. I have been broken and rebuilt many times. I have learnt much in Old Town, but more here on Old Stone. I have seen many seasons come and go at Giant's Chair. I know its stories, I know its ghosts. I have healed many of you. I've seen you arrive, scrawny boys, lost, sentenced to something worse than death. That's what they whisper south of the wall. But no, this is a life. This is a privilege. I will not abandon my post. I seek no glory. I seek to do my duty, as was my oath sworn. Commander Dondarian seeks to abandon. The first challenge after a month of his stay. Winter is coming, Dondarian. Or do those whispers not reach the Stormlands? Does a little lightning shake and quake your stone to the core, so that you might abandon towers that have stood longer than your home and house? Are you sad
I see that we're
you will never
ending,
get to be a Storm King?
ending on insults. Always strong. Now
He
then.
is actually going to make a roll
Okay.
to persuade the brothers. He has been here a long time. He has a status, and he has not lied, nor has he obfuscated. So he is going to roll, and I'm going to use one of my extra bonus dice up here for this roll. And then, Pope, you may make your roll, and we'll do it as an opposition in that way rather than a full intrigue.
All right.
And you are, of course, welcome to use your additional dice.
I'm going to use all of mine.
Okay. All right, what did you get, Pope?
21.
24 for me. Hang on. I'm not going to move my camera, but I did roll 24. I thought about it, but it's just going to upset the whole system. So on a 24, you see a number of the brothers unsure of which side to take in this conflict of minds. As commander, you hold rank. You've made your case to them before. But the Maester makes solid points, and they have sworn an oath, and Giant's Chair is where they are assigned. And they're not certain that abandoning it is keeping to that oath of watching. And so you find the room slowly descending into murmurs, discussion, exchanged glances.
Brothers, I am fairly certain that our brother here has not been honest with all of us, has not been honest with you. For when I first met him, he played the doddering fool. He is not a doddering fool. He is not slow. He is old, but he is not slow. He is not slow of mind. He's not slow of body. He is not slow of wit. And yet he would portray to you this senile old coot not to be bothered. He would have you stay in a place that is unsafe, whose larders have been mismanaged, who, while glorious histories have been paid for in blood, known only to us here, this place was meant to hold. But those of you who have been here for some time know the slow weathering decay of this place and its history. You know the sins committed in the name of holding this place, and how a perfectly good relationship has been ruined by small-minded men who lie and who would just follow orders.
Make your
I
persuasion
was sent
convince.
here. I was sent
Huh?
here specifically for one reason. And it's not even a good one. I was sent here to see to the mine. The one last holdout of this place. The one little golden glint that would have the watch hold on to something so ill. I would not spend your lives so cheaply. This place cannot hold. I wanted to be rebuilt. I begged. I pleaded. But all of that pleas, all of those years of service that I have given, have fallen on deaf ears. I send our brothers to go and deal with what we were sworn to do. You have held your oaths time and again before I stepped upon these stones. Would you spend your lives cheaply for a liar? Or would you see to your oaths?
Okay, if you'd like to make a roll.
Yes. I'm actually going to do not a convince.
Insight.
No. With a speech like that, I am throwing my weight. This is a status roll. I am betting my reputation against his.
Okay.
$19.
The murmurs grow louder, and more men of the Night's Watch are gathering, those left here that did not go with the greater party north. And it is becoming a very public trial. You continue to call me liar, Dondarian, and that is your will and your want. My pretense of being frail, of being doddering, means I can accomplish my work far greater because men here have their pride, don't they? Men here need to feel strong, and I am the comparison. But today I will stand strong for this castle, And rather than command me to leave, why don't you go? You seek to abandon it anyway. Why don't you take my position at Castle Black? Or any other castle you deem fit for your service, your watching. Any castle that you can have built and rebuilt. I shall petition for this castle. It is I that should have perhaps been named commander and leader. There have been infractions. I have followed orders. And now I reach the end of that. I follow only my oath now. My oath to my brothers. And this last homestead. Leave Dondarian, and take those who will follow with you. And those who wish to stay, to guard, to be the shield, to keep their oaths, to not abandon their posts until their watch is done, can remain.
Compromise, then.
If you will not be compelled to prove yourself, then leave.
I offer you a compromise. Especially a historian like you. Given what you have done here today, I offer you something unique. There are those who hold to their oaths. They were forced to. There are some very hard men, ice cold, of heart, eye, and mind, far to the north. I've seen them. Part of my first ranging, I saw those who failed the watch and were forced to hold their oaths true far beyond men. Stubborn men, liars, those who would not see reason and hold their brothers' lives cheap. The gallows don't need to be your end. You can join their number. 22 is more sound than 21. As well as any who would join you. I do not cede this place without protest. But cede it must be. I will not see another brother die to a crumbling edifice of pride. And since you seem so certain of either wanting to die or wanting to stay, make your choice. If you will stay, we can arrange that to happen, even in summer.
I have spoken my words, Dondarian. I do not believe any listener is in doubt.
All right then, brothers. I've trusted you so far. I could easily have claimed for this man's life, but I know what it means to give that order. I know what it means to betray your trust. I will not do that here. Trust is earned, and it must be nurtured through care. The order has already been given. Giant's Chair is to be abandoned upon the return of our brothers. should they return. But we will hold out for them. In the meantime, the builders have already been working, taking down towers, assembling what can be salvaged. You decide your brother's fate. And if you seek to hold this place without aid from the gift, hold this place without aid from your brothers, you will be in violation of your oaths. But I will not stop you. But I am going to leave, but not before our brothers return. Till then, if you seek to stay, you will all be confined to quarters. You will not move against your brothers. You'll be given food, water. But you will not stand at any post. You will not have a dagger or anything to harm yourself or others. But this keep will be abandoned.
Dondarian seeks to leave us, to prevent our duties. But an oath is made not with words, not with a mind, but with a heart. We have all paid in blood. All right, I'm going to make a roll, and we will see how this is going to split up. All right. He rolled 2 6s. So, a portion, I'm going to say about a third of those who remain at the castle will for now be standing with the Maester and will uneasily bend to the will of handing over their weaponry and take confinement in quarters. The rest stay loyal and true to you, Dondarian, and will follow your command until such a time as you stop commanding. And you will wait for the brothers' return. The brothers break camp at first light, the first chance that they can see the path ahead. You pursue the tracks through the snow. Follow the path towards Starfall. Apparently the path these tracks have trod too. And you come to a narrow pass between 2 brother mountains. Heavy icicles hang like teeth from ledges which bear over you. And up ahead, large forms suspended, much denser, much wider than any icicle. And there's a creaking. The horses grow nervous, wary. A number of the brothers have dismounted for an easier passage. Sir Jordan Burke, Chronicler Laris. I will place you in ahead because that's where all the interesting stuff generally happens. So you hear these creaks, you see these forms, and the sun continues to rise.
Can we make out what these forms are at all?
Make an awareness notice as you squint, facing north.
Mm-hmm. This is a 13.
And Laris?
I have a 17.
Okay. Burke, you squint, and as the sun continues to rise in the east, it creaks and overspills into this pass. And The forms, they have arms, and they have legs, and they hang limp as they swing. And Laris, you push a few more steps forward in your curiosity, and you see wildlings. Dozens, hanging, suspended from these outcroppings. You see that the tracks end here. And as you turn your head upwards, you see glistening in the light thin strands of web. And I need you to roll for initiative as you travel the path of the ice spider. Thanks,
Why must
Jem.
you do this to us, Charlie?
It was not me. This was Jem, and this is subs. These are events. Do 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 do.
I have a 13.
I got a 14 or 15. I'm sorry.
15. All right. The spiders will act after both of you, and the men will act after both of you as well. So, first up in initiative, you look, you see these glistening webs, these forms suspended, like my favorite scene out of The Hobbit, and you see giant, hairy legs. They seem to glisten like they're made of crystal. But it is just the ice that clings to the fluff of these skittering beasts. I will try and keep the spider imagery to a minimum for those who have arachnophobia. Just imagine something that you like. But you see them descending, crawling down the wall and across the ledges. Fresh meat has wandered into their den.
Burke draws blade and shield and basically just yells, "Fire at will!"
All right. Make a command roll, and then you can take your action.
Seems good.
On a successful command roll, I'll add a +1 bonus dice to the other men who will be fighting.
Cool.
And for those wondering, the wildlings were walking from the coast to Starfall, a very different path from the wall. All right, 14. That's a success.
14. Yep.
All right, so they'll get a +1 bonus dice. I'll make a note.
Mm-hmm.
And you still
then,
have 4 of your additional test dice. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be the first thing. Is one of them close enough for me to strike out at it?
Yeah, it I was going to say scuba dives. That's not the word I was looking for. But it scuba dives off the edge towards you. Abseils.
Oh.
Descends dramatically.
Yeah, no, we don't do that at all. So yeah, sorting
Straight up,
at
like
it.
a stabby.
Yeah, that's the thing. And we're using a test die because, fuck, that's so hard.
All right, do it.
Yep, I'm rolling. Give me a hot second. Boop. That is a 20 on the dice.
Perfect. 20. That will be a success. Let me go and count the degrees. And Laris, I need you to make your will save to see how afraid you are.
Ooh, I'm terrified. That's Oh wait. Oh no, that's good. That's a 13.
That's a success. You are not afraid. You conquer your fear. We will cut to that in a second. Oh,
I almost forgot. I have Blood of the Andals handy.
Okay.
So I actually get a 25 off that roll.
Oof. All right. So that more than doubles the combat defense. You will get the full 4 degrees of success.
And with 3 6s on the crit, that gets pretty nasty. Oh,
Sure
immediate injury. If they can't get an injury, take a wound on the chart I've got.
Let's just give him a wound. This is dramatic. I like it. So
Yeah.
Your sword goes up and you get it straight through the carapace. You twist and you cleave off half of its legs on one side and they fall down. They're the size of men's arms as they kind of clatter around you to the ground. Laris, you see the ambush. You saw it just before it happened and you see it now as the beast descends upon Burke and another is crawling down the wall beside you. What do you do?
I'd like to take out my crossbow, aim, and fire.
Fire at will!
Use, I guess, like, these are test dice, right? The bonuses?
Yes, they are,
Let me
test dice, keep dice.
Oh.
Alright, adjusting the overlay. I love a bit of combat. I love a bit of drama. How many are you using, Jeff?
I'm using 2 of my bonus. So I'm rolling 7 and dropping 2.
Nice.
So that's a 24.
Okay, same deal. That's 4 degrees and exactly double. It's thing, so you'll get your crits as well. All the crits are 6s. Count them up.
1 6.
All right, so that is 1 of those. So do the damage as normal.
Okay, that's 5.
5 times your degrees of success. So 20. Okay. By the way, for the record, Burke, you killed yours as well. It just took a little while.
Oh.
Just like dropped to the floor. And
You know
Wow.
what? That's good. That's great. That's
yeah, that one's very dead. Sorry, I realized I didn't actually say it, but yes, it's very dead as you cleaved it and did do much damage to it.
this pleases me.
Laris, your crossbow bolt goes out and you literally pin it to the wall and you see all of its legs do that rigid thing and kind of curl backwards and outwards. And it's just there, pinned to the wall. The soldiers behind you are pushing up. They too are doing battle with the beasts and what they can to slay. A number are ambushed by the spiders who drop onto them and bite in with piercing fangs. You hear their screams behind you, but the column is pushing up and through. They don't want to stop here. They don't want to fight here. This is a very narrow and treacherous place. And behind you, you feel the movement of men trying to move forwards. And that'll bring us up to Burke's turn.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're moving forward because screw this place. And just start going through anything with more than 2 legs or more than 4 legs getting in my way gets a sword in it.
All right, make me 1 attack roll and then 1 agility dodge, and that's for both of you. Pope, thank you so much for that gift sub. Today, for gift subs, we are giving out 1 additional crit. Who would you like to give a crit to?
We are going to give a crit to Chronicler Laris.
All right, I will put that on the list.
And re-roll because we're a happy person.
Because we're a happy person.
Well, for those playing the home game and have not been following along, Sir Jarden has the blood of the Andals in him, so he gets to re-roll 1 die on his fighting tests. It's nice. Can be very helpful, except when you roll the same number again, so you only get a 12.
Did you use any of your bonus crits?
I did not. I'm saving it for the next critical moment.
All right.
And then an agility. This is a dodge check? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Cool. Cool. That is a 10.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I have an extra die. I forgot about a bonus die.
Okay. If it's an improvement on a 2, this number will go up.
It is indeed up to, what is that, a 14?
14.
Yep.
All right, so your attack was a 12 and your dodge was a 14?
Mm-hmm.
Laris, the same rolls for you.
Not wanting to show up, Burke, I rolled an 11 on the attack and a 14 on the dodge.
All right, perfect. You push forwards as quickly as you can, not wanting to be run over by the stampede that is building behind you. You Burke, you dodge as a spider launches itself for you and kind of falls to the wayside, scurrying around to seek out your horse's legs. And you duck as one of the swinging wildling corpses suspended here comes towards you like a heavy training sack, and you narrowly miss being knocked off your horse by essentially a very, very cold and large thing. Laris, you miss your attack on the spider. You see your ult shoot off wildly, and the spider leaps towards you, but you two manage to escape, and behind you, you hear the cry of one Dayron, brother of the Night's Watch. I got him! I got him! And he holds up his sword, and on his sword is a very heavy, very dead spider. Keep going, Chronicler! Onwards, men! He's covered in this Icarus blood as this beast is draining out and down. And Laris, you nearly miss one of the wildlings hanging from this pass, but you do turn just in time to see that face, and you see how gaunt it is, how hollow its cheeks are. Everything that was in this bag of flesh and bones has been sucked out till it is nothing but the bones covered by a pale, translucent skin, a mask of horror and death. And the Night's Watch brothers push out and onwards north. They do their best not to talk about it, because they know what is ahead will be worse. Long nights, long days, north, following Sir Jardin Burke in his maps. Food begins to run out. The cold seeps into everyone's bones, and the land seems to be only more treacherous and vicious with every mile you cover. Until once more, a call. Tracks in the snow. And attention turns to you both for the order of what to do.
They heading the proper direction?
Yes, they
Then
are.
we follow them.
You follow
Orders are to
along.
follow.
You left with 100 men, I think. Something like that. We'll call it 100 men because it's a nice round number. You are now down to about 80. A few from exposure, a few to spiders, a few disappearing because this is not what they signed up for. They quite liked the wall when it's creaking and it's warm.
They want to take their chances out here. They're welcome to it, I suppose.
And now with 80 men, it's hard to be stealthy. It's hard to sneak. And so the clan between River and Sky are well aware as you draw close to the cave. You've been waiting a day for the crows that drive straight as an arrow north. And Urel, you almost don't believe it when you hear the horses. You hear their murmurs.
Runa, I hear them. Do you hear them? The horses, they're close. Sounds like a lot.
Said you wanted an army.
I don't know whether I wanted an army. Last time I saw one of those, it didn't end well for us. You guys stay here till we know whether they're friend or foe. Still don't trust them. And I beckon for who the able-bodied Ida and a few of those guys to come with me. The people who came with me before when we scouted, I would take them.
All right, so you call to Ingrid, and Jackson will come with you for this scout out as well.
Yeah.
And we'll say there's another brother whose name will be Cal, because that's short and I might remember it.
Yeah. Come. Let's go see what we see. And I'll head out towards where I hear the horses.
Time to make a deal with Crows. 4 wildlings appear in the path before the column.
Hold! And we recognize them.
As you draw closer, I definitely believe, Jordan, you would recognize at least the woman who stands in the near dead center of the road.
Why are you here?
Well, orders from the commander. We're to find the center of those things. Burn them out. They attacked our castle. Many of them.
Oh.
And what are you doing out here this far?
We're not wanted south, are we?
Not by
Possibly
most,
the
no.
same thing. We're looking. There's a place near here that we know of. It might be where they come from.
Think so?
Definitely things come from there. Don't know about these creatures. But we could hear them up ahead. Is Laris up front as well? I think I'll glance across. And I think I'm gonna see the armor that he's wearing and just go white.
And it would be the full armor, so it would also include the helmet.
Oh shit! So he's wearing. Is it down?
Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do an awareness notice check for Urel as you kind of glance? This is a huge column of men coming up.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering whether he was right at the front or not. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're doing awareness notice while we let Dev sort out the mic.
$11 for that.
On an 11, you do a double take, and you know that Glover is dead, but this is a man who would dare wear his armor. And it is his armor. You would not make a mistake about that.
I think I still see the axe mark.
Yeah, where the axe cleaved into it. Though they've buffed it, though they've repaired it, you can see your mark upon this armor.
If it's not far, and you know exactly where it is, we could be here and gone.
Why are you really here?
To secure the starfall against further threats.
Have you not taken enough crows?
We don't want to take, other than maybe remove the darkness from this part of the world.
You ever known a crow remove the dark, Urel?
No. They usually just bring more of it. Just like their clothes. That's why we call them crows, after all. Last time some of you tried to do that, you ended up mad. Do you never learn, crows?
We learn. We adapt. I've learned the secrets. Come bearing something that can dispel it, guard against it, maybe even kill it.
What's that?
And he will shoulder his cloak aside so that she can see the hilt of the dragon glass blade that he is carrying with him.
I know of these, right? Okay.
You would be aware of like the legends of various wildling weapons. You may have seen
Yeah.
one
Right.
in another clan leader.
Okay. Runa, you're not here, are you? Right, okay. Wait here. I can't speak for our clan. Stay here. And I head back to go and get Runa.
Ingrid, Cal, and Jackson bar the way. 3 wildlings determined not to move before an army of 80 men.
And I don't know how far they were from the cave, but if
You can easily kind of sprint back.
Yeah, I think I would pick up the pace. Like not straight away because I don't want them to look like I'm afraid and running. So I'm going to walk calmly until I'm far enough away to be able to just pick up the pace and just get Runa quickly. Runa, we found them. They're here. There's a lot. They want the starfall. They say they want to destroy it. Is that even their right? It was brought down on us. I'm walking and talking as we go back. That thing was sent by the gods. It's not a crow thing.
We want to close the lid on whatever box or tomb is there. We might need their help.
Throw enough crows in, maybe what is in there can't get out no more.
The gods will have their feast one way or another. But we want the same thing for now.
They brought a ghost with them. There's someone in their leader's armor. What does that tell you?
They're trying to be intimidating. And they're just as scared as we are.
Just here.
I'm not afraid of ghosts.
No.
And we know how to deal with bones that walk.
I'm walking slightly behind her, just enough. Especially when she says that sort of thing, I'm trying to be like, no, yep, sure, of course not.
So I will walk out to meet them.
You walk out just in time to see Jackson casually spit towards the ground in front of the crows. He's clearly like on his way to picking a fight, but he's trying not to pick a fight at the same time. He's just getting more and more in his emotions. Particularly, Laris, he's staring at you because he knows that armor as well.
I'm Aruna Grey Sky, the climb between the river and the sky.
Stratton Burke, Ranger of the Night's Watch. You speak for your people?
I do?
We seek passage to the Starfall. We believe creatures came from there, attacked our castle. Commander has ordered us to find their nest and destroy it.
We share a common purpose. But you
Good.
bring the ghosts from our past.
Ghost? What
Are
do
you
mean?
proud to see all that's left of us?
I take no pride in what happened to your people. There was no honor in it, no sense.
Then why did you bring him?
Is he pointing to Laris at this point?
He kind of doesn't nod, gesturing
I think we're
towards
all
Laris.
staring at
Mhm.
it. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll glance to Laris. Do I remember that this was the armor that Glover wore?
You would 100% know this is the armor that Glover wore.
And he just...
I'm going to imagine there's some pauldrons that were iconic. So it's a very obvious silhouette.
And he looks at the armor and he just... God damn it, recruit, take your helmet up so they see it's not the ghost of goddamn daring Glover. If I have to spit that name again, it'll be too damn soon.
I think at first, as he pulls up the helmet, it probably looks like a ghost because he's also white, like Yorel, but does pull up the helmet.
Had I remembered that we still had that armor in store and use, I would not have drug it out for this ranging. I will have to have word with the stewards when we get back, and you have my most sincere apologies.
Crows tend not to think. It's not their strong point. Small brains.
No,
Look,
we
we
grab the
just-
little shinies and then fly away with them.
Yes, you do, like that sword. Do you even know how to use it, I wonder?
Yes, pointy end goes into the other guy. Just hope you're not on the wrong side of it.
Under her breath, Ingrid makes a small cawing sound to Jackson. And he nods gruffly.
It might
Lucky
not
for
be
us,
a
we
guy
don't
you have to
need
stick it in.
We don't need the crows to think. We just need their swords.
Their swords
truce
not
then.
pointing at us.
Look, we didn't come here to find you. I understand how I look here before you, but you know how dangerous it is here.
Aye.
there is somewhat of an impasse here. So what I would like to do is do one last social intrigue for the season so that you can negotiate the tenuous alliance or the murderization that is about to happen, depending on how it goes.
I really don't want this to be a murder fest, but, well.
Runa and Beck, you will be our main representatives for either side. Yarel and Loris, you may assist as you see fit. Runa, you are a wildling in the north. I declare that you get to go first in the social intrigue.
That's fair.
So, I'd like to kind of try to get a read on Sir Burke and Laris. What do I make of them? Do I trust them?
Okay, so to do this, you need to make a read target. This will be your action. You need to... Oh, I'm down on the wrong bit. Read target. Where is that gone? You need to make an awareness empathy test versus their passive deception. If successful, you will learn your target's disposition towards you, their technique, and you will get a +1 test dice to your persuasion test. To both, it will cost you a destiny point. You can generally only act against one person on a turn in a social intrigue.
I will, since Sir Burke is the leader, I will kind of focus on him for a moment.
Okay. And just for your knowledge, you have 4 test dice donated by the Chaos Chorus, which you can
Yes,
also
I would
use
like
as many
to
as
use
you
one
like.
of those.
One of those? All right.
Yes.
We'll take a note.
Did my roll come up? I don't think my roll came up.
I didn't see it. You might need to read it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 14.
All right.
Yep.
Does that beat your passive deception?
Is it? It's 4 times. Even if it's
3
4 times,
times.
yes, that will.
3 times.
3 times. Yeah. Then yeah, no worries. We're good.
So that's a success. Just to clarify. All right. So Beck, what is your disposition towards Runa?
Indifferent.
Indifferent. In your previous statement, the very last one you did, were you being truthful or deceptive?
I forget what the last statement was. Oh gosh, was.
The last thing we were talking about was the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he absolutely was truthful. He didn't. He knows. Good God, he had realized that if he had even thought 2 seconds about what Laris was wearing, he would have been like, "No, God, we're not bringing that out. We'll be lucky if they don't feather you on sight."
All right. So you know that he was truthful about that part, and you get a +1 dice to your next persuasion test, Alyssa.
All right.
All right. So Beck.
Sir Burke, basically is saying, "Hey, we're here to try and make life easier for everybody. This is a good thing, and we can help each other out." And he's trying to convince them that, basically, that the assistance is mutually beneficial in this case.
All right. So if you are withholding anything, that would make this a deceptive claim. You need to roll perception. If you are telling the truth, you don't have to tell me. Then you roll with persuasion. And you can make that roll, because I'm assuming you want to do an influence for this to convince.
Yep, that is absolutely the case.
All right. Laris, do you want to add anything to what Sabek is saying?
No. Laris is more suspicious than Burke, so I don't have anything to help.
That's fair.
That's fair.
All right, so on a 14, that's versus your intrigue defense, Alyssa, for Runa, which I think you said was an 8 last time. All right, so that will
That's
be
up 1 degree.
2 degrees.
Ooh, okay, yep. So, influence.
That's will.
Yep.
Your will,
So
right?
that's going to be 8 influence, or 8 composure damage.
And you can soak some of that with your disposition towards Burke. So take that into account, and then that'll be your damage. You can, of course, choose to take a point of frustration, which absorbs the amount of damage equal to your will rank. But that will put you at -1 test dice. I think that's how that works. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've done more intrigue than combat in this game.
Helps. All right.
All right, and Runa, comes your turn to set the rules for this alliance. So I assume is your goal here.
You follow our lead. We know this place. And as long as your swords are pointed toward the bone beasts, we have a truce.
It should be fairly easy to keep to.
And I look over at Laris. Because I know the feeling of trying to fill shoes that don't feel like they quite fit.
What does Runa see when she glances towards you, Chronicler Laris? What can be easily read?
Fear and distrust.
Runa.
You needn't look so frightened. We don't like it any better than you do. But we have bigger things to worry about.
I know that. That's why he's asking us to work together, isn't it?
Aye. I'll do my best to keep the lot of you alive as well. Let's go.
I turn and start to walk towards where I know we're going. Is anyone left at the cave who was coming? I suppose. I suspect the answer to that is probably no, I suppose.
Everyone else has kind of trailed out when Runa left, save for Riva, the baby, and Grayson.
Okay.
Jackson will say a solemn goodbye to you all, saying that he will go and protect them. Now, you can genuinely see he wants to come with you, but he's already made a promise to Ryver that he won't. And overhead, thunder has rumbled. And you turn your attention in that direction, Uriel, and you see that strike of green lightning. Whatever you dreamt would happen is going to happen. It's happening.
Weapons out. We don't know where they are. I'm gonna be ready because I saw the green lightning not long before. I saw a white bolt of thing, and they all appeared. Well, my family appeared, but now I'm sort of like, was that family? Is that the ghost of my family fighting back the crows? She's like, this. It might happen now. It might not even get to Starfall. It just might happen. So she's got her spear at the ready, just not kind of like at a kind of steady pace, just because there's all these guys on horseback, and I'm sure it's not exactly an easy path, so we just sort of just keep moving until something happens.
You push forward, and it's nearer than you thought it would be. You almost suspect that somehow last night you'd walked past this place. There's a twisted and broken palisade that sparks as fire licks at its perimeter, caught by the lightning, which cascades down over and over in this place as a torrential deluge is released from the heavens. And crawling out of a deep, dark crater in the ground, dead things stir. The trees drip. There is rot. There is mold. There is decay. And there's that oozing flesh scent. You see skulls and teeth. You hear cries in the dark. And we're going to make this scene a dramatic scene rather than a fully played out scene. You are each going to get to make a roll to contribute towards the scene. And much like in the session 0, I will ask you to add essentially a truth to this scene as it plays out. Commander Jordan Burke, you are in command of 80 men who have followed you to this place. You can see before you a wasteland, which is under an assault of the elements. And you can see vicious beasts are arriving to form a line against you. What is your command?
Sir Jordan sheathes his metal longsword. That is a weapon to fight men with, men and beasts. These are not those. These are the monsters from the realms beyond men. And he draws the sword, the blade, the dragon glass blade, which he has come to dub the Night Whisperer, because that is what it does. It speaks in the night. And he holds it aloft, pointing at the creatures. Faith that he will see this through, that he will see this duty through. And he orders the men to charge, accepting the teams which have the oil. They are to wait second, and once the creatures are engaged, they're going to move in and start the burning of this place.
All right, I would like you to make a warfare command roll, please. You have 3 test dice up on your screen.
Yes, I'm going to use one of those right now, Miss Charlie.
Okay. I'm just letting you know because I know sometimes it's hard for players to see their test dice.
I try to keep mine in view, but it's appreciated. Especially at this very poignant part of the story. And that is a 13 on the dice.
All right, you make your command, and do you charge, sir?
I do indeed, for that is what a knight is to do in this situation.
All right, and make your attack roll, then, please.
I will use another test die for this.
All right.
Wait.
sure. Yeah.
Reroll 1 because we have the blood of the Andals in our veins today. And the gods are with us with a 22.
Oh, very nice. The cry goes out, charge, prepare, then burn. And into the mud and the muck you go, racing towards the first enemy. And you strike out and true with your dragonglass blade, and you cleave his head from his shoulders till it rolls back into that deep, dark crater. And you skid to a halt and stare down at the abyss. But then a cry to your side, and you turn, and it is time to attack again. Kate, you are the leader of the warriors. They turn to you for your command, trusting in Runa's ability to have a negotiated peace that the crows will not stab them in the back.
Half an eye on the crows, the rest on these. Don't let the crows kill more than you! And I run kind of opposite to Burke in a way, so like kind of flanking.
They're like tandem.
Yeah, because he runs and I'm like, oh no, this is our thing. If anything's gonna happen, like, you know. Plus, I think she's kind of intrigued about her vision and what she might find here if they're, yeah. So
yep,
she's straight in. Yeah. Skid round, try and find the first one I can see.
All right, make your attack roll. You also have 3 dice currently on screen.
Yes. Ooh. Well, that's gonna be a lot of dice if I grab one as well, but I'm gonna. So, so I've also got Cloud with me doing the same. So Cloud will give me assistance.
Yep. Give you a +1 test dice.
The ones on screen are not bonus, right? They don't.
No, they
drop.
keep dice. It says, yep, it's as if you have another rank. Yep.
Yeah. So, ooh. Am I right in this? So hold on. This should mean I'm rolling 7 whole dice. Oh, there's a couple of ones in there. Oh, it's 18.
Rolling all the dice. Very nice. You race forward and hand axe out, chopping, furious, cleaving deep. You carve down from the throat to the pelvis, cutting open one of these creatures, and it screams. Spittle and blood hit your face, and you twist the blade of your hatchet, and you swing again as you edge ever closer to that dark abyss. Laris, your action, if you please.
The brothers are trained to fight together and to fight shoulder to shoulder, but I break rank and go to fight among the wildlings, refusing us to keep us from falling into 2 separate forces, but to fight together.
Okay. Make your roll.
And I want to actually use my this fail.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been
all right.
forever.
Yeah, I like this idea. So describe for me what it is that catches you off guard, throws you off balance, ruins this moment of bravery.
I think it's mostly that I have no idea how wildlings fight, and I think that Laris wants to help, but is probably very bad at it.
I can potentially add the fact that he's running amongst the wildlings dressed as Glover, and I'm already thinking he's just come to stab us in the back. So it's a little off.
All right, so how about this?
The wildlings like start getting really defensive against
Laris,
him.
you run in and you are calling out instructions to the wildlings. They kind of turn, and you see Jackson's good arm swing back as he elbows you in the face, and you briefly get that blinding sensation. And he's moved on. He's busy fighting with Yarel. Not Jackson, sorry. Cal. Cal's doing this. Cal swings out. He knows Jackson doesn't like you, and he's down for the fight as well. And you get the wind knocked out of you as your face is smashed in by this elbow, and you look up and you see Ingrid, a wild woman with 2 daggers, one in either hand, that looks strangely like walrus tusks, that she is using to carve into anything that gets too close to her. And she turns and eyes you for a moment. And you see behind her one of these creatures. It isn't just bone apes that are pouring out of here now. It's strange amalgamations of men and animal. Creatures that are not natural, that are twisted. And you see one right behind her about to swerve. And you have a chance to react. Or you can let it hit her. It's your choice.
Yeah, I'll attack the creature.
All right. Make that attack roll.
So with the crit fail, that's going to be a 5.
Okay, I did the crit fail as you getting elbowed in the face. So don't drop that dice.
Then it's a 10.
10. Very nice. So you will be essentially at -1d for trying to convince the wildlings to do anything you want, but a 10 on the hit. You raise your crossbow, which is kind of hanging to your side, and shoot into the beast. And on a 10, you get it really good in the shoulder, and the bolt whizzes past Ingrid, and she thinks you're attacking her, but then she hears the howl from behind her and turns with both of these tusks and just claws in for all she's worth as this beast falls upon her. And there is a vicious and violent assault happening. Commander Dondarian, these are your men. You gave them orders, very specific orders, and a very rousing speech. I'd like you to make a warfare command to see how much order or disorder they find themselves in as the battle takes its earnest steps on the precipice of starfall. How'd you do, Pope? We seem to... I need you to make a command test for your men to see how they do, since they are technically following your orders in a very rousing speech about a flame in the north. And this is to kind of keep them in order or disorder.
$18.
Very good roll. But you can see the men are following their orders and their training. Some of them are better with swords than others, but some of them know how to fight dirty. And more than one of these creatures is knocked back into the hole from which it came. Runa, you watch a battlefield as blood mixes with mud and muck. You can hear people dying. The beasts are dying too. And you watch as flaming barrels of oil are loosed out towards the starfall, down into the hole. What does Runa do on the edge of this conflict?
I'll kind of keep watch for anybody that falls back or gets pushed back, so I can do first aid if I need to, or and have my spear ready just in case anything breaks away from the main battle.
All right, let me make a roll. Okay. You see a group of 5 Night's Watchmen are being pushed back by a beast. 2 of them are felled as it rips through them with these unnaturally large, dark, taloned fingers. And they collapse to the ground and are trampled by the other 3 trying to get away. And this is pushing towards you. What do you do?
I'm gonna... going to do kind of like Yarel did. I'll run partway toward them and then take a low, wide stance and plant my spear and get ready to try to hold back the thing that's coming after them.
All right, I would like you to make your attack roll because this thing is not giving up.
And I'll go ahead and use one of my test dice as well.
I'll take that off for you.
It's a 23.
That was very good. As it charges with you, your feet planted, you skewer this thing and you feel the blade and then the handle slip all the way through this creature and out the back until your fingers brush against its chest and its weight falls limp. And at this moment, I would like to ask each and every one of my players to roll one test dice. If you wish to use bonus dice to this, then you are welcome to from off your screen. This is going to be an accumulative effort from all of you, and I'm going to roll an accumulative roll for my side of things. We will see how this battle continues.
So
As
just
Runa,
roll 1d6.
One dice each, yeah, 1d6 each, unless you want to throw in one of your keep dice off the screen. Because I am going to use both of mine. All right.
I'll throw in one. I'll throw in
right.
one. Yeah.
I saw a nod from Alyssa. Is that one from you as well?
Oh, we rolled the same.
And are you using all three? Dev? All right, and Dev's rolling 4. All right. Matt, can you do the maths with me as these numbers come in? And I'm going to roll and add up my dice.
Absolutely. How many you got, Dev? Please tell me it's a lot.
I got 17.
Yes! That brings us up to a 34.
All right, I'm adding. Okay. All right, and I rolled a 27. Commander Dondarrion, make one last command warfare roll for me. Whatever you roll, we will times by 3, and that is how many of your men survive. Okay. Right, so that's 42, right? Did I do the math right?
Yes, correct.
All right, so the battle lasts longer than many you have experienced, but it is furious, and sweat clings to your bodies along with the mud and the blood. Many fall into that great crater. Many are slain, and their blood stains the earth. But at some point, as the sun is fully overhead, and the fire cascades upwards from that hole, the world falls strangely silent. The wind begins to fade. One last strike of green lightning down in that pit, and the flame roars up, and then slowly fades down into that hole. And as it descends, you see amongst its flame the faces of so many clan members, Yrel. Some you have never met, but you know them because they whisper your name, and they look to you. Runa, you are drenched in the blood of men and women that you are trying to save. Ingrid, grievously wounded by one of the beasts. You know she will not last long. Laris, You took a fierce strike to the side of your head and were knocked into the mud. Back, you stand amongst the wreckage and you count those that remain alive, or at least remain groaning. Half your men, maybe. A lot of dead crows. I would like to go around and ask each of you to add a truth to this scene. We will be going clockwise, beginning with Yrel and ending with Runa. Yrel, what is something that is true about Starfall?
That the hole is not a hole anymore. It is now sealed.
And the truth I will add to that is it is sealed. And it is sealed with a strange, swirling mass of molten rock. And as it slowly dries and swirls, for moments you can see shadows and faces still in the swirl. You see the face of your son. He had tried to kill Glover for you. And your eyes roll back into your head and that piercing feeling hits your temples. And you see a frozen shore. 18 men struggling to survive. And standing atop the cliffs, another. He's haggard. More bones than anything else. And a large scar across his face. You see your husband staring down upon the men who had come ashore. Yrel, tell me one small thing you see in this vision. Something you don't quite understand.
Bear is wearing clothes of a crow.
And he transforms before your eyes into a crow, and he flies back towards the wall. Dev, tell me one truth about Starfall.
In the battle, as after Laris was knocked into the mud, he came out. He got up looking for the helmet for the armor and saw it burning at the edge of the pyre, and in it a face like the screaming face of the tree that he had seen. And at the end of the battle, when the world went quiet, he took Glover's armor and added it to the pyre.
And a truth I'll add is in this moment, you feel overcome with everything that has happened. You look to your hands, scarred, chapped, numb from cold, scalded by flame. You hadn't noticed it when you placed the armor into the fire, but it looked at your fingers. And then as you flex them, the flesh begins to slowly heal. And in the back of your mind, you hear a whisper. We have many stories to tell you, if only you'll listen. And you turn your head, and on the far side of the great pit of Starfall, you see a very strange individual. Little taller than a child. Limbs thick like vines. Hair draped in the red leaves of a goodswood tree. A creature old as the werewolves themselves. And she beckons you with a long finger. What does Laris do?
Laris like looks to the crows behind him and looks down at his healed hands and like runs to the trees. Runs towards this creature.
Hope, I'm actually going to skip you for a moment. We will come back to you. Sajardin. You see Yarel staring down at the pit, now sealed, the strange molten earth, slowly cooling, occasional bubbles rising to the surface. Men stagger and cry. A few run. Perhaps they've seen something else to fight. A battle is a busy and terrible place. But what is one truth about Starfall?
The truth of Starfall is that molten metal that is sealing up is the star metal. That precious, precious rock that we've traveled so far and given so much blood to get.
The sword, still in your hand, whispers, "You made it this far, Burke. How far can a man make it when chasing the trail of a star?"
Turns out quite far. And he will take Night Whisperer and plunge it in the metal to the hilt to gather some of it and maybe erstwhile forge a new blade.
Make an endurance roll for me, please.
Absolutely. $15.
Okay. You push the sword in and down, and you can feel the heat. It's dry, it's hot, it's scalding, but it doesn't burn the flesh of your hand. The sword slowly heats, and it glows, and a bright light fills the small space around you. You hear a hissing and a bubbling, and a new sword is forged. But Burke, as you plunge the sword into the depths of this dark pit created by a star that falls, so the secrets leach out from the earth and into you. Now you know, and you'll never forget. Night gathers, and so your watch begins, brother. Runa, tell me one truth about the Starfall.
In the melted snow and muddy ground around this area that is being sealed over, there grows a strange plant with 4 pointed petals shaped like a star. One that I have never seen before.
The truth I'll add is that, Runa, when you work with this strange herb, you realize that it is a flower born from the tears of gods, and with it comes power. and the stew that you brew for the surviving clan between the river and sky gives them new magic and new life. Pope, tell me a truth about Giant's Chair.
A truth about Giant's Chair. Truth is, surviving brothers make it back. But when they do, there's no one to meet them. The entire place is missing a soul. Not one body, not one iota, not one brother found. And the chair is broken. Shattered into 1,000 pieces. There's a howling from the mine. A terrible, terrible howling.
The truth I'll add is that as they investigate the howling, they find the maester, his body broken and his mind shattered. And he promises, as he lays in the bed that they have laid him in the Giant's Chair before they leave, he promises that he will never leave this place, that he will watch this night and all nights forward. And the wall holds many ghosts and many stories. And the castle of Giant's Chair is never again manned. And any crow that sets foot there is challenged, is chased. Their mind is twisted until they leave or they die. And that is the end of our chapter here at the wall. I would like to thank my players very much for tolerating our little overrun. I'd like to thank everyone in chat. Thank you so much for those subscriptions, for the bits, for the donations of the test dice. All of the test dice you see here on screen, I am going to do a jumble sale and hand them over to the Crownlands cast, who will be returning in the summer season. So these will not go to waste, and they will be passed on to another part of our Song of Ice and Fire story. Before we do our close, I would like to go around and say thank you to each and every one of our cast members. I would like to hear their favorite moment of the season and where we can find them on the internet. Kate.
Oh boy. A favorite moment? The whole thing? Right. Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Kate. Kate Madison. I played Uriel today and for this season, and it was awesome. Yeah, I didn't die. Not many people died. Well, not many of us died, amazingly. God, what was my favorite bit? My goodness. To be honest, the thing that's gonna stick with me, there's so much just in that last 5 minutes, and the idea of the survivors going back to Giant's Chair and finding it a ghost town and the chair shattered, and I just like that image is just awesome because it's like, what mystery happened here? Like, what the heck? I don't know. There's so many good bits. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, just that's a pretty cool image, but just there's so many cool things. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the VODs like multiple times now. I love it. The whole thing was great.
Thank you so much. And you can find Kate Madison here next week on Wednesday when we play some Cult at 6 p.m. Eastern. Super excited for that. And please go check out her streams. They are always a delight and very chill, which is what we need.
Actually, can I just show this, because I think it's significant in the set that I finished building this on stream today, and it's Game of Thrones dragon. Oh, I just broke his wing literally straight away. But like, I just thought it was very cool. We finished building a dragon today for a Game of Thrones dragon, and then we played Game of Thrones, and that's just very
Dead.
cool. But yeah, you can find me here around.
Kate, mother of ash and beasts. What? Recruit Lyris, what was your favorite part of the season?
Oh wow, there are 100 things in this season that I absolutely loved and love to play and watch. My favorite part might seem strange, but the fight with the walruses was this really. It was one of the scariest parts of the show, and I think that there's something really exciting when we can take these fantastical, horrible things, but also show that the danger that exists, like in the hearts of men themselves, and then also the danger that exists in the natural world, just trying to be itself. So that moment was very, very exciting for me. Thank you so much for everyone that joined us and created the space for us to tell this story. Thank you so much to all my castmates. I've had a blast with you. My name's Devin. You can find me on Twitter at DevPresto. And this was a real joy.
Thank you so much, Dev. And I want to give Dev a little quick shout out to for the kindness that Dev has shown the community, in that Dev has offered to record scenes with people if you don't have streaming experience and you want to apply to be a cast member on Encounter Roleplay. And also, this was Dev's first time with us, and Dev has been amazing. And I'm so sorry that I forgot to update the overlay. I am very upset with myself about it. But Chronicle Laris has many stories and adventures. And I remove your fear, sir. Commander Dondarian, played by Pope.
Oh, hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. Oh, this has been an absolute dream. This is a fantastic group, a fantastic story, fantastic people just in general. Favorite part, hands down, is that light bulb moment with Laris during the battle. Him, both player and character working in coordination of looking at those sheets and spending that destiny point and having that aha moment to add something. And even while Laris is freaking terrified, that mind is still working for the benefit of his brothers. Pure gold. Absolute pure gold. If you want to see more of this silly face, you can check out this Sunday, 9:30 Eastern, over on Matt Tev7's channel for Masks Sunset City. Just as one story ends, another one starts. So there's something poetic in that. There's something poetic about all of you. Thank you all for tuning in, whether it is live, VOD, YouTube. You're as much part of the story as we are. Couldn't do it without you. Love you all. See you soon.
Thank you so much. And if you have made it this far, leave us a comment on YouTube. I can't think of anything specific for you to tell us, but you are all much wittier than I am anyway. I appreciate all of the comments we've had in the last week, and please do keep them coming. The Killer GM. Matt, Sajad back.
Hi, everybody. Matt, Killer GM here. You can find me at the Killer GM on Twitter. I write about games, talk with people about games and other various and sundry. There's so much you could say about this season. Holy hell, did we go some places and had some idea of where things were going, but where we ended up, wow. Oh my gosh. It was so much fun. I think my favorite part of the season, well, there are a lot of favorite parts. Like Kate, it's almost all of it. But I think the one that finally just had my jaw drop was when Laris ratted out Burke to Dondarian, finally, after just this back and forth. And Laris just can't quite bring himself to do it, and then he finally says it, and it's just, you could see the point turn, and oh, I was so great. I loved that. And even if we don't get a chance to revisit these people, this was an amazing story. This cast was excellent. Everybody just brought so much to their characters and made Giant's Chair and the North come to life, and you are all so fantastic. Thank you all so much for watching, whether you're watching us now, catching us on the VOD, on YouTube, wherever. We don't have a show without you, so thank you so much for coming and watching us tell the story. And maybe we'll see a Mad Chicken Night at some point in the near future. Maybe.
Maybe. Bruna, aka Alyssa. Hi, friend.
Oh boy. How do I pick just one favorite moment of the entire campaign? There were so many good ones, and many that have already been named. I think from our finale, one of my favorite moments was just like the intrigue between the wildlings and Runa kind of struggling to fill the role that has been sort of granted to her, and trying to not fail her clan, and also the banter that we got to do between her and Urel. So and also seeing Laris run away with the children of the forest at the very end.
And where can we find you?
You can find me at Origami Shuriken on Twitter, where I update my stream schedule. So going forward, currently the only thing I am doing is GMing Dark Matter Ghosts of Saltma on Sunday nights on Other Doc's channel, where we play Ghosts of Salt Marsh in Space.
Awesome. A final post-credit scene from me, because I cannot help myself. 5 years have passed. We see the sprawl of King's Landing. It has been a long ride from where the boat had docked. Your Grace, I bring news from the wall. Night has gathered. My name is Dayrun, and Commander Dondarian bid me bring this direct to you. A black cloak is thrown back over his shoulder. Fresh, brilliant, dark armor clads his body, and he holds forth a letter. A letter that tells of a new castle being built, known as the Flame. It is to be a brilliant and bright tower, a beacon in the dark. And for one last time, I would like to ask the castmates to join me in an oath. Night gathers, and now my game begins.
It shall not end until my death, or inevitable need for snacks.
I shall make new stories of life and lands far beyond these.
I shall wear many crowns and wigs and costumes.
I am the virtual tabletop in the darkness, waiting to play.
I am the lurker in the chats and the commenter on YouTube.
I am the mod that guards the chat of Encounter.
I pledge my life and honor to the Chaos Chorus for this night and all the nights to come. We'll see you tomorrow for the finale of Pendragon's Parish. Take care, everyone, and try not to roll too many nat ones, because I'll never let you forget it. Bye.